Hi guys, welcome back to the Mission Empowered podcast with me, your host Emily. Hope you're all having a good day. I don't know if I said this on the last podcast episode. I genuinely feel like I sing into every episode. I mean, I know it's on Spotify, but yeah, definitely no singing aloud. Hope you're all having a good day. I am having a busy day. Had a busy day. It's 27 at night. I never record the podcast this late, but what is this episode all about? It's about boundaries, and my boundaries are I have to record a podcast episode every Wednesday. So here I am, just before my tea. So hopefully we won't be too long today, guys. So I'll go and get my tea. Right, let's get into it. Today's episode is all about setting boundaries with others and ourselves, because without boundaries, we ain't getting a lot done. We're not living a very fulfilled life because we are too busy giving to everyone else rather than setting the limits with ourselves. That is what I'm going to talk about today, because this is something as a coach that I teach a lot of my clients from the off about, especially we'll delve into like time bound boundaries in a second, but that is the biggie, and that is the one we're going to go into, because how often is the excuse I don't have time used to getting results and getting goals? A lot. If you're wondering, it's used a lot, and it's the biggest one. Most of us tend to think that we don't have time, but actually it is. We just don't set strong enough boundaries to then go on and achieve them goals. So, what is a boundary? So, a boundary is a line that marks the limit of an area. Okay, but also we've got a boundary. How I describe is especially when we're talking about other people, is it's the line between you and I. So we have this line that people push our boundaries, which means they're getting out of us what they want and we're letting them push our boundaries, or vice versa. We might test other people's boundaries without even realizing, pushing into their zone, their boundaries, because what we want to get out of it. And this fine line is what we need to zone in on, is what do we define as that line for us, and what is our boundary that we know, okay, that is my limit, that is my point that I set myself, or I set that other people do not pass. Okay. And if we're unsure about boundaries and what are my boundaries, how do I work them out? We're going to delve into that in the second part of this episode. So the first part is all about setting boundaries with others. I don't actually think setting boundaries with others or ourselves, like one is more difficult than the other, because they intertwine. Because when we set boundaries with ourselves, we tend to set boundaries with other people as well, because we're thinking about ourselves, and vice versa. If we set boundaries with other people, it's normally because we're thinking about ourselves. Did I just say the same thing? Anyway, whatever I just said, bearing in mind, like we said, 7 p.m., whatever I just said, it works interchangeably. If we focus on ourselves, we get good at setting boundaries with other people. If we set boundaries with other people, we get good at setting boundaries for ourselves. Boom. All right. So when we set boundaries, then when we talk about boundaries, we can't expect people to know what our boundaries are, because we teach people our boundaries. That's very, very important to understand. We show people, okay, this is my limit. This is me, and you can't cross that. Okay. And when I'm talking here, I'm talking about in context, because we're not going to rock up to someone and go, hey, you, this is my boundary, don't push it. It's shown in our actions, it's shown in our self-respect. That's how we show people our boundaries. And you may, think about it like this from a work context. In work, someone might come up to you and say, Carol, can you just do this for me? Can you just go and run this over to so and so's desk for me? Okay. And you might go, oh, yeah, okay, even though you haven't got time. But would this person who's asking you to run this over to the desk go up to your manager, your big boss, and say, hey, Joe, can you just run that out? No, they wouldn't do that. They would not do that, because your big boss knows their boundaries, sets their boundaries, shows people their boundaries with like their authority and what they say yes or no to. And that is where we need to look and think, oh, right, yeah, look at the people that maybe you respect, whether that is a result side of things, whether it's a career side of things, whether it's just who they are as a person. And my likelihood is the likelihood is they've got good boundaries. They show people this is a respect I have for myself, this is a respect for every others, this is my line. And that is what we need to get good at, to set our boundaries to achieve our goals. So when we talk about boundaries, then 4 different types we're going to break down. So we've got physical boundaries, emotional boundaries, mental boundaries, time and energy. Time and energy is one we're going to focus on, but just so we're in the know. Physical boundaries are, the best way probably to describe this is people who say, I'm not a hugger. I'm not a kisser. I'm not very coming into personal space. Don't like people coming into my personal space. Don't like people going into, wouldn't walk up to someone, give someone a hug, right? So that physical boundary, and how we can use this as an example, is if you meet someone and you are a hugger. I'm a hugger, girls. It's fine. I'm a hugger. But if you go up to someone and they say, oh, hi, and you go talk to them and they go, oh, sorry, I'm not a hugger, and you go, oh, just give me one anyway, that is you pushing their boundaries. You're going into their territory, okay? Now, they've got 2 options: to hug you, even though it makes them square, makes them feel uncomfortable. They've let you push their boundaries. They haven't held themselves to their own boundaries. Or they say, no, really, I'm not a hugger, and they set their boundaries. Now that might upset you if you're unaware of boundaries, and if it upsets you, the likelihood is you're not respecting your own boundaries because you're not understanding, actually, I respect that. Because I understand about boundaries. Well, now you know. Then we've got emotional boundaries. This is a bit of a tricky one. Definitely not my scope of practice. But talking about feelings, so we're just going to screw over this one too. There's a lot of people who don't feel comfortable talking about feelings, and we can talk about feelings of love, we can talk about feelings of struggle, but their boundaries are they don't like openly talking about it. So they set the boundaries of, I don't talk about that. And for you, again, depending on the type of person you are, maybe you are that person, or maybe you are the person who's like, just tell me what's going on, tell me what's wrong, tell me what's happening. And again, that might be from a good place of you because you are open, but from that other person it might not be. And so it's just respecting their emotional boundaries. Then we've got mental boundaries, so opinions, political views, coming into a room and someone being like, oh, I'm fucking fuming, so and so's done this, that's fine, that's your prerogative. You're very open with your mental boundaries. And other people, you might be like, don't you agree? And they might be like, no, I'd rather just not say. And that's not them being weak. Maybe that's just their boundaries of their mentality and their opinions. So then we've got mental boundaries as well. Then we'll talk about time and energy, which is our big one. Okay, so time boundaries are you setting time aside to do, again, let's use it in work. You setting time aside in your work to focus on a project, but then someone comes over. I'm not talking about something that you have to do in work, but someone who says, hey, can you just finish this for me? Or can you just find that email or that document that was in that meeting and fire it over to me, or send me them notes or whatever. You saying, and this is really important, you saying, yeah, no problem, because that's your default, is not you setting your own time boundaries. Because you set time aside to work on your project, on your work, that person is now pushing into your time boundary that you've got, and you accepting that is showing them, yeah, you can push my boundaries, you can push my time boundaries, that's fine. And although that might just seem like a insignificant sending of an email, sending of notes, what happens when the day comes where you go, okay, I'm leaving at 5:30 because I want to get to the gym for 6, I can be home for 7, you've got it planned, it's in your diary, and they come up and they say, hey, can you just X, Y, and Z? 5 minutes, just send me that 5 minutes. Only take you 10 minutes, just send me it. Now, because you've shown them that boundary can be pushed and that they can edge into that, then you feel inclined to then respond the same way as you've always done, which is, yeah, okay, I'll do it. But what that then is leaving you is thinking, okay, well, I'll do this. So that's 26. That's taking 15 minutes off my session. That's you not setting your boundaries. Okay. So that's an example of a time boundary in a work scenario. We've also got time boundaries of home scenarios. This is a big one, actually, for my ladies who feel like they're doing a lot at home. They do the washing, they do the cleaning, they do the cooking, they do the shopping. I don't have time to do my workout. I don't have time to go for the walk because I've got when this coming out and that. But if you, and I'm saying this, if you live with older children, if you live with a partner, that you have got someone who can help you out with that. Are they pushing your boundaries because you're just doing everything for everyone? And actually, you could say to them, you know, can you just, for example, let's say your partner says, can you get our tea ready? But actually, you really want to do the workout and you do the tea every fucking night of the week. But you say, yeah, okay. And then that workout's gone. But your default is, I don't have time to do the workout because I've got to do the tea. But actually, it's because you're not setting your boundary of, okay, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, your partner does the tea because you get to work out. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, you do the tea. And your partner gets to work out. But it's setting that time boundary and setting that line that says, I'm important. This is important to me, and holding yourself to that. And holding to other people and showing them this is important to me. And that can be used, I've just used the dinner, but that can be used in washing, dropping the kids off, walking the dog, whatever. I mean, walking the dog's great, it's great for steps. But yeah, it can be used in anything, but it's setting your boundaries. This is a big one, right? So, time boundaries for social occasions. Now, you might be thinking, what's this got to do with? So, let's look at this, right? So, you are going out on a social occasion on a Saturday night, and you've committed to yourself that actually, I don't want to drink, or I'm going to have two, I'm going to come home, because on the Sunday, which is my day off, that I've got a gym workout planned, then I'm going for a walk, I'm going to prep my food, I'm just going to be on it on this Sunday to smash it. So, a time boundary from the Saturday night point of view or a social occasion point of view is the choices you make on that Saturday night. Are they going to then affect your time the following day? Because you've set the boundary of that Sunday is your prep day, is your on it day. You are going to start the week motivated, taking them boxes. But because of the actions that you make, either by choice or by peer pressure, by other people pushing your boundaries on that Saturday night, it then eats into your time boundary of the following day. So you need to get really good, and we'll talk about this, like I said, in the self boundaries, at setting them boundaries with yourself of what you want to then go and say to other people, no, like, and own it. So couple of things I've said here, and I say these a lot to my clients. I've probably said them in previous episodes before. Saying no is a full sentence. You do not need to answer with no because, or no and this excuse and that excuse, or back this up, or the reason why. If you are out socializing, or you have got a gym workout planned in and someone said you want to go for tea and you feel bad because you haven't seen them for ages, but you want to see them, saying no doesn't make you a bad person. It is setting the boundary with yourself. And to follow it on with that, saying no is a full sentence. Saying no to something or someone else is saying yes to you, or saying yes to another opportunity. And this is a big one that I use with my clients. When you're out, when you're socializing, because let's be real, this is a big one, right? When it comes to getting results, drinking, eating out, chippies, takeaways, lacking on sleep, staying out later than you should do, or you want to. Saying no in that moment in time is saying yes to the following day, and saying yes to your goals, to the following week, to your food choices the next day. You're saying yes to the quality sleep. You're saying, no, I don't need to stay out till 2 a.m. because I want to say yes to go home, get quality sleep, wake up, feel energized, positive, prepped, organized. So many people tie getting results and choosing to be healthy and choosing to be fitter and like to a negative. Oh, it's boring. Saying no is boring. I want to go out and, see my friends and do this. Okay, but do you really want that goal then? Which we're going to come into in about 1 minute's time. But remember, this is really powerful. So saying no is a full sentence. You can say, if someone says to you in work, just fire me over that email, it'll take you 5 minutes. I can't, I'm sorry, I've got to finish this. Set that boundary with work, because the more we set our boundaries in one situation, guess what? They follow on to the other situations as well. And we're all going into the pub after work. Do you want to come? No, because I'm going to the gym, because I really want to get all my sessions done this week, because I know it's going to leave me feeling better. I know when I check in with myself, or when I get to the Sunday and I've ticked all my workouts off, I know that I'm going to be like, yes. But because I said no to going to the pub, I'm now going to feel like yes to my goals. So saying no is saying yes in every situation. And having tough conversations. If you're listening to this thinking, shit, I've never set boundaries. But now, as I always say, like, once we understand something and once we have the knowledge behind something, we can action it. We can't use it as an excuse anymore. Now you do understand it. And you can start practicing setting boundaries. And, blame me, say, oh, I listened to Emma's podcast about boundaries and you need to fuck up. No, don't really say that to them. But no, I'm just going to say no, because I really am going to do this. And you know what? If you're a yes person, if you're a people pleaser, which so many of us are, if you are a people pleaser, trust me, it's going to feel uncomfortable. But that uncomfortable is literally your default behavior trying to burst out of you to be like, just say yes. Just say yes. So remember, feeling uncomfortable is fine and it'll pass. And once it's passed, you've proven to yourself, okay, I've set that boundaries now. I've done this and I can do it again. Okay. And you'll get that dopamine hit of, whoa, check me out. Okay. So the last little bit then on setting boundaries with others is putting your time on a pedestal. Your time is so important. Because how many times have you said, I just don't have time. I just can't fit it in. And I bet you 30-40% of that time is not even about you. It's about other people, about you not setting boundaries because you're doing shit for other people that actually you probably don't need to. They're just pushing into your boundaries. Put your pedestal on a time. Put your time on a pedestal. I mean, I only fucked up once then. Been going quite a while. That's quite good. Put your time on a pedestal. It's important. Your workouts are important. Your meal prep is important. Your steps are important. Your downtime is important. You worked all week. You worked really hard. You've nailed it. You want to stay in on Saturday night and chill and put your jammies on and watch Netflix. And all your friends are going to the pub. That time is important for you. That is what you've got to remember. You going to the pub is not going to the pub because that's what you want to do. You going to the pub is because everybody else is pushing into your boundaries. So you go. I've never, ever, ever spoke to anyone, self included, who's planned a chilled night, gone out because they've got FOMO. I've done it. I'm not saying I've never done it. I've done it. And woke up the next day and gone, God, I'm so glad that I didn't. I'm so glad I went out because, yeah, it was great. And I really don't regret the hangover that I've got now. Or really don't regret that I just cannot be shitted going to the shop to do my meal plan and get my steps in. No, nobody's done that. You'll have FOMO for about 10 minutes. Once you've got your jammies on and you're watching Netflix and you're not looking at what everyone else is doing on Instagram, you'll be like, oh, thank God I set my boundaries and stayed in, because I'm going to wake up like a bougie, what do you call it? Not know it all. What's the word where you wake up and you're like smug? That's not the word I was thinking of, but you know what I mean. So put your time on a pedestal, and what you want to do with it is important, and back yourself, and remember that you are going to show people what your boundaries are by your actions, by your yes, no answers. So that's others. How do we now set boundaries with ourselves? And we're going to tailor this towards like goals and, getting results, because probably listening to this, that's what you're after. Or you might just like the sounds of my voice, which I highly doubt. So, like I said before, there's nothing, setting boundaries with ourselves and setting boundaries with others, both really powerful because they pay off on both sides. But when it comes to setting boundaries with ourselves to achieve a goal, there's a few steps that you need to go through. So first of all, before we even look at the boundaries you need to set, we need to look at the goal. What is the goal that we want to achieve? And it cannot just be, I want to lose weight. I want to look better. You have got to dig into the why behind the goal. Because if, and you've probably heard this plenty of times before, if your why is not strong enough and is not powerful enough and you don't feel connected to it enough, that goal ain't happening. Because the goal, anything that we set as a goal, whether it is physique results, work results, whatever, the goal always, a goal is always feels unachievable at the moment or something out of reach, and that's why it's a goal, because otherwise it wouldn't be a goal, right? No one ever says, I've got a goal of going to get a coffee. It's not a thing, yeah? But we always have a goal of, I want to lose weight, I want to, run a 10K, I want to get more toned. Why? Because I want to feel happier in myself. Why? Because when I put clothes on, sometimes choosing to go out, I don't feel excited, and then when I go out, I don't ever want to get pictures, and then sometimes I'm thinking about how I look rather than enjoying the moment. There's your why. That's your why. So your why isn't you want to just lose weight. Your why is, when I go out with my friends, I don't want to be sidetracked by, do I look okay? Are these clothes clinging to me? You want to be present in the moment. And I think if I lose weight and wear clothes that I feel more confident in, I think that will achieve that. Perfect. So whenever you're setting yourself a goal, it's always looking at the why behind the goal and really tapping into that. And for me, write it down, get it in your notes, get it on paper, get it somewhere visible that you can always come back to. So when the challenges of doing the actions, which we're going to talk about in a minute, to get to the goal become harder, you can go back to the why and think, okay, I don't want to give up because I really want to feel like that. I really want to achieve that. I just signed up a client yesterday and she had the best why. Well, wasn't the best because everyone's why is important. She had a very good why. She talks in front of crowds like a speaker. And she said, this year in summer, I couldn't, I was doing this talk in front of hundreds of people, and it was really hot, and I really wanted to wear a sleeveless top, and I couldn't. And then I ended up putting this short sleeve top on, and I felt like it knocked my confidence, and it really affected an opportunity I've been given. And she was like, so next year I want to put on a sleeveless top and feel confident and feel like I've got guns so I can go into this talk and smash it. And I was like, wow, that is a great why to come to our consultation call with, and give me that, and knowing that that's exactly how you want to feel. Boom. So that's what we're doing. So as I said, the why behind the goal's got to be powerful enough, okay? And then when we've got the goal, there's two things we need to do. The first one is we need to look at the actions that are going to take us to that goal. And when we've got the actions that are going to take us to the goal, we then need to put them into a plan. Okay, how am I going to, again, let's use physical transformations. So we've got the goal of, I want to, using the absolute, probably 99% of you listening, I want to lose weight and I want to get toned. Okay, why? Okay, we've delved into that. So you've got your why. I want to feel more confident when I take my kit off because I'm single and I want to go on the pull. I want to feel great when I do that. Okay, brilliant. So you've got your goal or whatever it is, okay? You've got your why behind your goal. Your actions, we know, are going to be based around, okay, so we need to understand that we've got to get good food in. We need to understand that we've got to make time to get to the gym. And following on from them actions, okay, we then pull it back. Okay, so that means we've got to go to the shop on a Sunday, write out a meal plan on Sunday night, and then every night we take 5 minutes the night before to track our food, prep our food. Okay, we're done. So we've got a plan on the food. Same with the training. Okay, your training, your goal is tone. We know that we can't get tone without exercising, without working out, without training, without weight training. So we now need to, are we going to work out from home? Are we going to work out from the gym? How many times can we get the gym? How long are we in the gym? What does our work diary look like? Now, this might seem like a lot, but once you've done this plan and these actions once, that's the hard bit done. The rest we just got to follow it because we'll have the plan. Okay. Now, when you've got all of that, so we've got the goal, the why, the actions, and the plan. Now you've just created the boundaries for yourself because you've just put in all of that time and effort to really dig into your goal and the why behind it. You've put in the effort to be like, this is what I need to do for my food to achieve my goal. This is what I need to do in terms of working out and getting to the gym to achieve that goal of feeling great. They are your boundaries. You have set yourself your boundaries. And this is why, again, I always say to people, write down your goals, write down your to-do list the night before. That is your boundary. What have I just started this podcast with? Every Wednesday, I have to record a podcast episode. More fool me if I don't get it done before 7 p.m. at night because I'm sitting down doing it at 7 p.m. at night. Setting the plan. So it's not just about creating boundaries out of thin air. Setting your plan, setting your actions, they are your boundaries. Now, once you've got the plan and the actions, the next bit comes the choices that then you are making, because wouldn't it be great if we lived in a world where nobody asked us to do anything? And we had the plan and we had the actions and nothing else cropped up in life, but that doesn't happen, okay? So we now have to look at when these choices arise. Another famous one-liner, respond, don't react. A reaction of, hey babes, you worked solid today. Do you want a chippy? Yes, I do, because I'm tired and I can't be bothered cooking and I'm hungry. So carbs and fats, yes, please. That's a reaction. A response is, babes, you've been working all day. Do you want me to just go and get the chippy for you? Should we just get a takeaway? Okay, where's my plan? Where's my goals? Where's my actions? Okay, my actions was, I've got it in my fitness pal because I put it in last night because that's one of my actions. This is what I'm meant to be having. I really want it chippy. Oh, okay, do you know what? The boundaries of myself, no. I'm going to stick to my plan. I'm going to set the boundary and say no, because saying no is saying yes to my goal. See how it all interlinks in? And actually today I was really good setting my time in work. Someone asked me to do something and I said no. So I know I've got the power to say no to this and say yes to this. Okay, woo, back me, let's go. And honestly, them situations, them choices that you are presented with can be turned around in a matter of seconds. If you respond and you put a pause in, and then if you respond, not react. So rather than just acting on impulse and put that literal 30 seconds to just do what I did, go through your options, go through your choice, go through your why, and then respond. Within 1 minute, you have diverted from feeling, oh, why did I do that? I've let myself down. All of these things that we normally feel. And you've just diverted that into, I am the shit. I am great. I've just made a great decision. Go me. And then things bank up. You will get better at setting your boundaries and being clearer with other people and yourself the more that you stick to them. Imagine it like an elastic ball band. Remember them? That every time that you say yes to your boundaries and you stick to them, another elastic band goes round. And what happens? It builds, and it gets stronger. And that's your boundary ball. Boundary ball. Okay, back to my notes. Come on in. Stick to your boundaries. So when we're presented with these choices, we have to respond, not react, and we have to ask ourselves, it's a choice I'm making aligning with the actions that I've set myself, and do it like going back to the thing on the pedestal, which is your goal and your why, and the choice that you are making, is that aligning to get to that goal? And if it's not, because wouldn't it be great if we could do 100%? Well, let's be real, we're probably going to do about 80%. If it's not, we then just have to check in with ourselves and remind ourselves that to get to my goal, my actions need to meet my expectations. So if I'm expecting to move closer to my goal next week, but the actions that I've chose this week aren't aligning to that, I'm going to own it and I'm going to try and do better. You don't have to dig yourself out. You don't have to undo it. You have to own it and you have to move better. If this keeps on happening, that your choices are not aligning with your overall goal and your expectations, I would recommend go back to the drawing board and really sit and think, is that goal powerful enough for you? Is the why behind the goal really what you want? Because if it is, then you need to make them actions happen. And you need to have that plan. Maybe you need a better plan. Maybe you need a more secure plan. So again, coming from a coaching perspective and how I work this, some clients, and this again is just people being different people. Some clients, I have a very structured plan. We build a plan together for their day and their goals to make sure they stick to it because that's what they need. That's what they work best with. Other clients, not so much. Not so much. They maybe have a bit of a looser plan, but they get it done. As long as both clients get it done or both people get it done, that's okay. But if you find yourself keep dropping the ball on the choices that you're making, but you know that why is big enough, it's probably the part in the middle that you need to get better at. You need a stronger plan. Maybe you need some different actions to go back to the drawing board and have a little redo of that. Okay. I think we might wrap it up there. I think we might wrap it up. Oh, tell you what, sitting down doing a podcast is not a vibe. So just to summarize that one then, guys, and then I've got a little bit at the end, at the bottom as well. So setting our self boundaries, it's a process, okay? Get the goal, get the why, get the actions, get the plan. And always make sure that your choices aligning with the goal. Are your choices aligning with what you want? And remember that response over a reaction is what can really turn a situation around in such a short amount of time. So really make sure respond, don't react is ingrained in your freaking head, please. Okay, where to practice. So start small, okay? Like I said to you before, the easiest one, the simplest one I can think of is in work. When someone says, can you just do that for me? Or at home, can you just do that for me? Or when people ring you, are you busy? Yes, I am. I am busy. You do not believe how much better I've got at that recent years. Okay. Going from obviously working in the gym, being a gym manager, people would just respect it. Oh, she's in work, I'll speak to her on the way home. Working from home is a different bag. Guys, I need to go. I went to a different ball bag. Different ball bag? What? Right. Working from home is a different bag. And people will ring you, are you free? You know you're not free. You're on a bloody work meeting in 5 minutes. And you go, yeah, if it's quick, start there. Start with setting them boundaries small with yourself and your time, okay? Because like I said, getting good at that, you'll get good at setting boundaries with yourself as well. Remembering that without boundaries that we set for other people or ourselves, we're never going to achieve a goal. We just won't do it because the boundaries lead to the plan, lead to our actions. We feel more empowered. We feel more confident doing it. It gives us that self-respect. And when we do set boundaries and we set boundaries to ourselves and we set others and we protect our time and we protect our energy, the time and energy we then go to give to other people becomes so much better and so much nicer. We don't resent giving that time and energy to other people because we're setting boundaries to ourselves. We know that we've protected our time. Therefore, we can then go and give it to other people when the time's right, on our boundaries, on our say. Okay. Last little bit then. When it comes to setting boundaries with yourself and setting others, this is so key to remember. That your boundaries and your goals and your time and your energy will never be as important to anyone else as it is you. So if you're not taking charge of that, nobody else ever will. And you'll always be in a position where people are going to push into that. And you're always going to be in that position where you're feeling maybe a bit deflated, a bit frustrated. So unless you action it and start setting them boundaries with yourself and others, you will never change. So start small, tiny weeny, go bigger. Think of your boundaries band. I hope this podcast helped. I really do. I can't believe I've waffled for 35 minutes on it, but you can tell I'm passionate about boundaries. They are super, super helpful. I, again, have worked on boundaries setting myself and others for a long time now, and trust me, the payoff is worth it. So I hope you found this podcast helpful. If you want to drop me a message, let me know how you got on at _em.powered. Yeah, I'm done with speaking for today. Okay, we'll wrap that up. Mission empowered. Thank you. Love you. Bye.